Good afternoon. Just want to do a quick video about a bad tenant that I had. This video is meant to actually encourage, not discourage you. When you do buy your property, it's part of the process. You're going to get a bad tenant or two or three, and that will make you appreciate the good tenants once you do get them. But real quick, when I was looking at the property, I could never get into her unit. She would agree to show the unit, but when the time came down to actually see it, she wasn't there. She wouldn't answer. And I got into her unit one time. I couldn't see any of the bedrooms. I still bought the property. And the reason why she wasn't showing anyone her section is because she was a hoarder and she didn't want anyone to see her mess. So that's before I even bought the property. I knew, okay, if I do buy this, I'm going to have to, get rid of her, basically. I bought the property. She was in there. I bought the property in May. She left like in November. From May to November, she never paid any rent. Now, she was on Section 8. Section 8 was paying, her rent was $1,200 a month. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, living room, dining room. Mind you, this is back in 2016. $1,200 a month. She had to pay $125 a month. So they paid $1,075 a month. She paid $125, and she did not do that. So after like the third month, I spoke to her. I said, it's $125. You got to pay your portion of the Section 8. Because they asked me, and you haven't paid, you could lose your Section 8. So they come and do an inspection every 6 months. So besides her not paying, she had way too many people in the unit, people running in and out. She was on the 3rd floor, mind you. So when it came time to bring out the trash, she would throw the trash from the 3rd floor window, and she would attempt to hit the trash can, but never would. So it was splat over the ground, and I found myself cleaning it up. So I told Section 8 she wasn't paying. Section 8 came. They eventually just dropped her from Section 8. She lost her Section 8. So now they're not paying the $1,075 a month. She's responsible for the full $1,200. So she never paid. She didn't pay the $125. She wasn't paying $1,200. So she never paid. Hired a lawyer. Started the eviction process. I didn't get any money for like 4 months from her or anybody at all. The other 3 units was paying. She wasn't paying. The day of eviction, my lawyer calls me and told me that she tried to get a restraining order on me because she was trying to avoid being evicted. The judge said, no, you haven't paid this man in 6 months. It's time to go. So, in Massachusetts, when you evicted someone and you're the landlord, you are responsible for the moving and storage fees. So I had to come up with another $1,200 to move her stuff and store it. Okay? So day of eviction, me, like the constable was there, some of the moving people was there. It was like 5 people there. Knocked on her door. She had nothing packed. She came down the stairs and she had like 3 shirts, a toaster, and like a chair from her table with her. And she was bringing down items one at a time. Her kids, and her sister was helping her. So finally she said, I don't want anything, and this is all I'm going to bring. So there was, I wish I still had pictures. So she left behind a bedroom set, a living room set, The other rooms didn't even have frames. There's a bunch of just mattresses and box springs. It was all very bad. So the moving company said, listen, this isn't usable furniture. This is considered junk. So the moving company considered it junk. So they wouldn't move it, even though I already paid them. They don't move junk. You have to call a junk person to get that out. So she left, got no rent for 4 months, paid them $1,200. They wouldn't move it. The constable left because now she's gone. So on top of paying them $1,200, they're not moving it. I had to go and get a junk company. So I got a guy that I had to pay another $1,000 to move the junk. This is to remove it. And then on top of that, I had to remodel the place, which cost me another $10,000. You know, holes in walls, floors. I had to get the whole thing painted again. I had to get new doors, cabinets, stove. Before I bought the unit, I believe she lived there for probably 10 years. Had to get everything new. Had to redo the ceilings. And the place had 2 bathrooms. So I had to redo one I totally redid, and one I kind of half did it. It was still in decent shape. I kept the tub and I just replaced some other things. But I had to redo everything in the unit. So we're talking about $8,000 for me to redo it. Between the moving company and the junk company, another $2,500. And then we're talking about my lawyer cost me $800, and then another 4 months, 5-6 months of getting no rent at $1,200 a month. So you do the math. So, like I said before, this isn't to discourage you. You are if you're really ready to buy a property, you're going to buy one. And you're going to come across a few bad tenants. This is one of the tenants. I had probably 1, 2, 3. I had 3.5 bad tenants, and now I have great tenants. Great tenants. Now I'm gonna do a video on them. They're awesome. I had them 3 years now, and I don't have any complaints at all. I'm blessed. I have great tenants. So this is part of the process. Just want to kind of forewarn you, you know. And when you do get your property and you don't have any bad tenants, you know, God bless. But sometimes when you buy the property, their lease goes with the property. You don't really have a choice. You inherit a lot of tenants. That's why some people like to get the property delivered vacant so they could choose their tenants. But there have been a few tenants that I chose, and they were still bad tenants. So it's not foolproof, but there are a few steps you can do there's a screening process that you can go through that would increase your odds of them being good tenants. So I'm going to drop that video next, and have a good day.